ticket, she'll be on her way back.
I finally got you in here for this date therapy, man, and I'm trying to figure out what seems to be the problem.
I mean, what you mean?
I'm trying to figure out why you haven't settled down and locked things in at this stage. What is the problem? I've seen you date beautiful women. I've seen you date established women, career women. And here we are. You're still single, very suitable, and I'm trying to figure out what is the problem.
I mean, but you directing this to me like it's my fault.
It has to be because it's not adding up. The math ain't mathing. It's not making any sense.
Okay, where you want me to start?
Let's talk about this last one that I saw you with. I thought that was the one.
The one for what?
She was a lawyer.
Oh, the lawyer. Okay.
The lawyer. Yeah, let's start there.
So let's start with the lawyer. So it's my fault because, well, she's a lawyer. She has a successful career. Well, let me tell you what happened in between me and her. I really liked her. She's pretty. Like you said, she's a career woman. Mm-hmm. She was very personable, educated, athletic, all of that.
She checked your boxes.
She checked some boxes.
Okay, she checked some boxes.
She checked some boxes.
Enough to move forward.
To move forward until.
Okay.
So, everything was moving well.
All right.
So, I'll give you one instance. We were dating, going out, all of that good stuff. And then one day, she would come to the house, my house. And one day, she questioned me. We were in the bedroom, and she questioned me about a charger being plugged up on the left side of the bed.
Telephone charger.
A cell phone charger.
Okay.
So I'm looking at her, I'm like, what's the problem? Like, she was real quiet, and she was like, well, when I come over here, you're on that side of the bed most of the time, in my room, on my bed. Mm-hmm. I said, yes. She said, well, why is there a phone charged up or a phone charger plugged up over here? I'm like, what difference does it make? Because you're over there, so that would mean somebody has been over here.
I see.
So I'm looking at her like, you do understand this is my room. It might be 8 chargers or 8 outlets. I could plug every one up. I could have something plugged into every single one of them. It's my room. I said, and I have a huge bed. I have a California King. So if I roll over and I'm over here, I'll have my stuff plugged up over here. But that was a sign.
Was that a red flag for you?
It wasn't at first, but the more I listened to her and the more we engaged, it was.
Okay.
So, we moved on from that and we continued dating. And one of the things I noticed is, so she was divorced and she had a child from her prior marriage. Like I said, she was, she had been married. She was, I don't know if she was fully divorced. I believe she was divorced. So, one of the things I noticed is she also lived with her parents because it was close to her job. Now, she had her own place. She had a condo. But where she worked in the proximity to her parents' house was closer to the property that she had owned. So, but she never spoke about it. She didn't rent it out. So I was like, well, what are you doing with your condo? So she never really explained it to me.
She has a condo.
She has a condo.
But she stays with her mother.
Stays with her mother
because
and father.
Because it's closer
to her office.
Okay.
But she has a condo.
Okay.
So I said, do you rent it out? She was like, no. I said, so you just pay the mortgage on it? She was like, yes. Mm-hmm. So I was speaking to one of the homies, and they were like, oh, the ex lives there. And I had never thought of that.
Wow.
I said,
wow.
I said, you think so? He was like, why else would she not go back to the condo? Like, no weekends, nothing. Like, did not go. So one day, so everything started to, kind of come together. So she starts to talk about her marriage. So the phone charger came up as a red flag when she started to tell me more about her marriage. So one of the things she told me was, okay, her and the guy was a whirlwind. They met in the summer, and they were together ever since that time they had met in the summer, and I think before that year was out, they were married. Before they were married, when they were dating, he would stay with her most of the time, go shopping or whatever they would do. He would end up at her place. You know, whatever they would do, he would end up at her place. Then all of a sudden, you know, they were married. And she said, once they were married, everybody moved into her place. I was like, who's everybody? And she was like, oh, him and his 3 kids.
Whoa. So time out. This lawyer,
Yes.
was she a lawyer at this point
Yes.
in her life when she meets this guy?
Yes. She
And
wasn't in law school. She was a full-fledged licensed
She was already
practicing
law.
a civil rights attorney.
And she meets this guy and moves really quickly and moves everybody in.
It depends
including
on
his
who
3
you
kids.
speak. It depends on who you speak it to when you say really quickly. But they got married,
Okay.
and the guy had 3 kids, and they all moved in her condo.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
as they're married, and all of a sudden, now one of the things she shared with me is that this guy had issues with the women in his family or his life. Every woman in his family or his life, besides her, he referred to as a B. And I was like, women like who? Like his baby mothers? She was like, no, his mother, his sister. I said, his mother and his sister, he referred to as B's? She was like, yeah. I said, you didn't think that was strange? Well, I was taking his side to his story because he was my man. I said, his mother, he referred to as that. She said,
Wow.
yeah. I said, okay. So they're married. He moves the kids in. She says, all of a sudden, he stops coming home on weekends. I said, what do you mean? He stops coming home. She said, like a Thursday would hit, Friday would hit. Friday would come, and he had disappeared.
While they're married.
They're married.
And he would just disappear.
She said he would disappear. She couldn't get in contact with him, and he'd return like Sunday.
Okay.
And come home, and she'd be livid. He would leave his 3 kids with her.
No.
This is what she's telling me.
No.
And so she said she questioned him once he would come home, like, where have you been? You left these kids here with me, and where have you been? You haven't been answering your phone.
Yeah.
And he says to her, bitch, don't question me.
Wow.
And so I look at her. I said, no, he didn't say that to you. She said, yeah. That's what he said to me. I said, your husband that brought 3 kids into your establishment.
Right.
She said, yes. I said, okay. So now I'm starting to see her questioning me where this is probably stemming from, which I had nothing to do with. So more talk about her ex-marriage.
So it seems like now she's putting in parameters with you,
Right,
that she did not
do
put in
prior
with her
to
husband.
me.
Okay, so it's starting to make sense.
Right.
now.
So
Okay, go
she
ahead.
gonna put me on punishment for what the other guy
I got
did.
you.
And what is my motto? I do not do the time for other dudes' crime.
Okay,
You understand?
I got you. Okay.
So, and I had given her no reason in my eyes or her eyes. She didn't explain to me why she would question me about a charge in the wall. So fast forward, another story about the same ex-husband. She says to me, we were talking one day, and so this is maybe 6 months into the marriage. I don't remember the time frame, but she's talking to him after they're married, after the kids have moved in, after he's moved in, and she says to him, do you plan on contributing to the household? I said, excuse me? I
6 months in.
6 months into a marriage.
Yeah.
I said, hold on. I said, you told me when y'all first met, he would spend most of his time at your place.
Right.
She said, yeah. I said, so he wasn't already like groceries or, hey, here's some change for this or here's some change for that or let me take care of this or let me take care of that. She said, no. I said, oh, okay. So she says, when she questions him about that, do you plan on contributing to the household? So he was like me. He was like, what do you mean contribute? Because I didn't understand what she meant by that. Like, I was like, y'all have a household and he's not.
Right,
I was like, financially? Like, I couldn't believe what she was saying. She was like, yes, financially. So I said, okay, you question him and what? He says to her, "Bitch, don't question me about any money."
Wow, wow. Because certainly he's caught his mother, his other women in his
And
life.
she didn't think that was an issue.
I got you. Okay.
So I
okay.
said, he didn't say that to you. Your husband didn't say that to you. Y'all taking care of all these kids and everything. He didn't say that to you.
Mhm.
Yes, he did.
Mhm.
I said, so you had never discussed with him a financial responsibility within the household before you decided to marry this man?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She said she had not.
Mm.
I said, okay. So I'm starting to see now.
Yeah.
Everything she did prior to me
Yeah.
is going to come down on me.
Right. Because she's drawn a line in the sand that all of the mistakes or seemingly mishaps that she's made with her husband, you're paying the price for it.
Won't be me.
I got you. Okay. I got you.
Because I haven't asked you for a penny.
Yeah.
We go out. I've been handling the bill.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
You know, so when she said that, it was so surprising. So then, this was the kicker. This was it. So we were talking, and she kept reiterating to me how she wanted. It was around the holidays, and she would reiterate to me how she wanted her father to buy her a firearm for Christmas. Which, okay, cool. She had the the little firearm picked out and everything, and one of those colorful ones that a woman may like. I'm like, okay. And then
Wow.
I bought the condo up.
Yeah.
We were at dinner one night.
Yeah.
And her area where she stayed, because she would come to the city most of the time. So I went to her area. So what my man said to me was ringing in my head. I was like, this condo. So we were talking, and she brought up the firearm, and then we were sitting there in this restaurant, and this big ass dude came past, like 6'4", like 250, looked like Goldberg or something, the wrestler. And she said, "Oh, he was in my self-defense class."
So now we have a firearm request
And a self-defense class.
Self-defense class.
And it's still, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a woman.
Because she's a lawyer.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. Okay. A civil rights attorney.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Civil rights attorney.
Oh, wow.
So she's front line on people who getting beat over the head.
Right.
So I said to her, I said, when she said that, I said, I got a question for you about this condo. Why don't you return to your condo? Like, why you don't ever speak about this condo? Why you don't rent it out? What's going on? I said, is anybody staying there? So she got quiet, and it all just came like a 180. It all just came like, pow. We gonna stop right here. And I said, what is it? She goes into the story how when she stayed in the condo, one night, after the guy left, the ex left, it's her and her daughter. So she said it's a small building, so like 6 units or something. She said when somebody comes in the main door of the building, you can kind of hear what unit they go to. You can tell what unit they're at. So she says she hears somebody come in the building, and she could tell it was a presence at her front door.
Wow.
And I said, were you sure? She said, yes. The footsteps ended at my door. I heard them come in the hallway, and the footsteps ended at my door. And she said 5 minutes had passed, and nobody knocked, nobody did anything. I said, so what did you do? I said, did you call your father, your brothers? She said, no, I took my daughter in the bedroom, and I came back to the door just to look out the peephole. She said the peephole was black. I was like, black like it was covered?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, black like somebody had their finger over it.
Yeah.
And I said, then you called the police.
Right.
Then you called your father. Then you called your brothers. No.
Wow.
So
because she is a lawyer who would know the proper protocol and procedure.
She represents women who have been through domestic violence.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
And so I mentioned daughter. I don't want to get this mixed up, but I mentioned daughter. But after all of that she saw with the guy, she had a daughter with the guy herself. She didn't have a child prior to him.
This is child number 4.
For him.
3
that I'm aware of.
And one of
but she had a child with him after she saw all of this.
Wow. Okay.
So listen to the decision making.
Yeah.
So she's at the door. Nobody knocks. She goes and lays with the girl and goes to sleep. Like curls up with the girl. She was so scared. She said the next morning, before I get to this last point, she said the guy had come to her before, after they had broken up, and I guess he was placed on child support, about to be placed on child support. And he says to her, if you take me off of child support, I will relinquish all my parental rights. I said, but of course you didn't do that, right? She said, I don't need his money.
Wow.
And I said, you have a child with this man. He's been living off you. I said, he has a daughter to take her. I don't need his money. I said, it's not your money.
But when you go out on dates, do you pay?
I do.
Wow, but she doesn't need his money. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, not that she didn't offer, but, I paid majority of the time.
Right.
So, back to the story. She wakes up the next morning at the condo. Mm-hmm. Under her door, has been slit under her door, was a letter. Uh-huh. She reads the letter. The letter says, if we don't rekindle this or get back together or something to that effect, I'm going to kill you, that daughter, and myself.
No.
I said, hold up. I said, the ex told you this in the letter? She said, yeah. I said, I need to see a picture of him. I said, when was you going to tell me this? She said, why would you want to see a picture of my ex? I said, you got me out in public with you.
Right.
He said he was going to kill you, the child, and himself.
Wow.
I don't have a shot.
Right.
She told me, oh, no, he not. I said, check. Can I get the check?
I bet.
Can I get the check?
I bet.
She was like, what's the matter? I said, I need to see a picture right now.
So the peephole being covered up, the letter under the door, and she still never followed through with the police.
Did not follow through with the police.
And now you're out on a date with her.
In public. In her neighborhood.
Right. So he knows where.
This man probably have seen me a many a time. I have no idea.
Wow.
And you say, what about this lawyer?
Yeah,
And this is the last tidbit.
Yeah.
So the daughter of hers, she had the woman had a relationship with the guy's mother and sister.
Okay.
That he.
So these are aunts and grandma.
Right. The child's.
Yeah.
She had a relationship with him, so she would let the child go over to their home.
After all of this?
After the man said he will kill his own daughter.
Right.
And you know what when I questioned her at the table, I said, didn't you tell me you let your daughter go over his mother's house and sister's house? She said, yeah, but they not like him. They're different. I said, but you not knowing what's going on over their house is not concerning to you? He could just pop up over his family's house. He's not going to. I said, don't worry about it. Check.
And that was the end of your time with the lawyer.
Oh, yes. Civil rights attorney who represented women who have been domestically abused.
How did it end? Because I'm curious to know that when you get up from the table, there's conversation or phone calls after that. How did you explain to her that you have reached the end?
I can't do this. You have me in harm's way and you don't see it as an issue. Mm-hmm. And before that, she was like, I don't understand why you're moving so slowly. Why are we not this? Why are we not that? Why don't we have this title? I said, I've noticed along the way, your decision making to me is not good. It's not substantial enough for me to be with you on that type of level. Time after time with another man, you show me what your decision making is. And those bad decisions have you in the mindset now that you must counteract all of those things that you've done. And it's on my behalf. And I can't suffer for that. I can relate. I understand what happened, but it wasn't me. So for me to get questioned about, these sorts of things that are not important, and for you not to understand me being cautious with you after these things you've told me, it just didn't register with me. So that's what it is.
Wow.
But it's my fault, right? Because she's a lawyer. She drives a nice car. She's educated. She's pretty.
I will say this before I give you my therapy. I will say this, that many people on the outside looking in were sure that the lawyer was the one.
It was many people.
Many people. We've had conversations around you.
What?
But now that
I'm not included in it?
No, because we're trying to figure out what is your problem. But now that we've heard from you, and you've made it clear as to why things didn't go forward. Now we can put this lawyer to rest because this one may not be your fault.
Oh, wait till you hear about the next one.
Young fella, you know. Your girl